What's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to a brand new video today, and welcome to some more F1 2017 gameplay. This one brought to you by Codemasters. They uploaded 2 days ago a full unedited gameplay, a 50% race around the Belgium Grand Prix with the Force India, Esteban Ocons to be exact, in the full wet. It goes from full wet to intermediates to dry. So today I'm going to just be kind of reacting to it, giving my little kind of thoughts on it as I watch it with you guys, and we'll just kind of go through it and kind of cut through kind of to the interesting bits of the video. But I'll leave a link to the full video in the description. Codemasters actually uploaded it on their own YouTube channel, which I'm going to say mega props. I mean, obviously, it's nice when I get sent gameplay to kind of show to you guys for the first time ever, like no one's ever seen it, but it's kind of nice to see Codemasters uploading their own kind of full gameplay footage almost, and they went even full like caps lock and everything like that. It was kind of cool to see them actually diving into it. It's a nice forward step for them to continue to use the YouTube channel themselves. But anyway, yeah, let's get into it. We're going to skip over the intro because actually I don't know if you guys know this from the Renault gameplay. If you're on my Twitter, you'll know. But the intros to F1 2017 this year are apparently so realistic now that they actually get caught by copyright. They actually get caught out by the YouTube auto content ID system because the YouTube system thinks that they're FOM's official real life intros. Because obviously the FOM don't want you to upload real life race footage, and that includes the intro bit. That's how they kind of maybe tell. And the game's intros are at the moment so realistic, and the system doesn't know the difference yet, that yeah, it got blocked. So actually the first time I uploaded the Renault video, it got blocked worldwide, and I had to re-upload it. So just a little tidbit there. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you wouldn't have known about that. But anyway, let's get into the video. Crofty talk. I'm gonna take the volume down a little bit as Crofty talks, because we don't really need to hear Crofty talk. But going through the grid sequence, I never really mentioned this too much in the other video, but they have kind of refreshed all the actual heads-up displays and just the feel of it. Obviously, last year they had a bit more of a grey to black kind of tone. Now they've got like a nice slick black version, and in terms of the faces, they've updated them. I think they look pretty good, apart from a couple here. I'm not going to lie, if we go back to Carlos Sainz's face, I'm not too sure about that, to be honest, but we'll move on. We'll forget about that. Let's move on to the actual race here. So we're here in P13 with Ocon, random grid, but pretty realistic grid, because Julian Palmer's 19th there, I saw. But we're going to go to 5 red lights, and let's have a look at the start here. This is, once again, David Greco driving, and as he gets away, I don't know if David was taking it very, very cautiously, but he gets a very, very bad start, loses 5 positions there into turn 1. Wehrlein comes out of nowhere. Let's pause that. Hang on. Let's go back there. Wehrlein coming out of nowhere. Look at that. Wehrlein's there on the right-hand side in the mirrors. Proximity arrows there in red now. I only noticed that now. The proximity arrows in red this year. But Wehrlein, Jesus, look at that. That's good. That's a Nico carry from my driver in Season 6, Episode 1. That is a nice dive bomb from Wehrlein. So, good to see the AI dive bomb a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, obviously maybe David was taking a little bit easy off the start, but genuinely looked like he really did struggle for traction there. And good to see the AI. Obviously, again, ultimate 110 AI, no assist, cockpit cam here with David Greco, the handling guy from Codemasters. If you didn't watch the Renault video, then there you go. That's who's driving in the video today. But yeah, no, genuinely seemed like he was actually struggling to get the traction down. Good to see. Looks like in the low-speed corners, that's going to be the issue. Definitely did feel like that from testing it back in March and also playing the beta a little bit. In high speed, obviously, with the 2017 downforce, it's going to be a monster. These cars are monsters in the high-speed corners. But low speed, obviously, you're not going so fast, so the aerodynamics aren't working as well. And low speed, it's still definitely a very big challenge. You can see here in full wet conditions, very much a challenge. Locking up a little bit, going sideways there, and Grosjean sends it down the inside. Bit of a barging move there, actually, from Grosjean. So good to see as Greco kind of went a little bit sideways. Grosjean just had no qualms going down the inside and making that move, and definitely look a bit like aquaplaning almost into that kind of right-hander, which is always off camber, and then into Pouon. Pretty okay, a little bit opposite lock there in the middle of Pouon, as you do, but so far okay, 15th place, so we're recovering a little bit from P13 as we were. But generally, I think from what I remember playing in the testing phase and what I have played in the beta, the wet handling, I would say, is it's challenging. It's like 2016. They've refined it a lot more from 2016, but you're not going to feel too. It's not going to feel like it's overly fake difficult, because obviously these cars are monsters. You know, the amount of downforce these cars create now in the high speed, as I said, they're going to be very grippy. In the low speed, though, different kind of story. We'll see how David fares into the bus stop. Always a tricky one on F1 2016 sometimes as well, under braking and on the traction. Very nice and easy, a little bit of squirming there you saw into the bus stop there, so taking it nice and calm. And on throttle, if you just listen, just nice early upshifts, very early upshifts, you know, not going to the full revs, going to the red range limiter, so right to the middle, and shifting up a little bit early there, so being nice and calm on the exit of the corners. So David kind of showing how it's done in the wet, how to drive in the wet potentially. Definitely want to upshift a little bit early. Wink, wink to myself, as I don't do that a lot in the game. But you saw there a little bit briefly the engine management system. Let me go back there. You just saw he brought it up. So that's the normal hood on the right-hand side that we've seen before. And then he flicks onto the engine management. There you go. So that's what we saw in the trailer throughout the entire race. You can look at the MGUK, the, well, that would be the electronic system, the ICE internal combustion engine, MGUH, gearbox as well. Obviously, at the moment, it's all 100. It's all at 0% because it's a random 50% race. Obviously, in career mode, you would get the wearing out and everything like that. Also, something I haven't ever mentioned in any video so far, but you know, nice to see they've got the motion blur in the cockpit. That wasn't really a thing from the last game now. So even in the dry as well, you'll see the kind of, you know, the blur. You kind of get that eagle vision going towards the apex there, so everything else kind of blurs out. And as Greco tries to make a move down the inside, he just about made it actually on Verline. Fair play. Look at that actually in the mirrors. You saw there the AI going side by side as he goes down the inside. Let's watch this again. Let's just appreciate it. So Grosjean goes for a move. Greco makes it 3 wide down the inside there. Just about leaves the space. Goes a little bit deep, but then he makes it work. And then on the exit, you can see the two AI cars go side by side. Looks like Grosjean actually is the one who gets squeezed out by Verline. Fair play to Verline. Man like Vern. Verline. So yeah, nice move there by Greco. So we're back up into 13th place now where we started. I know it might be funny for him if he's watching back for me to commentate on him. It's always good to commentate on other drivers, mate. I'm now moving a little bit on because I know we've got a bit of action coming up. So we're now catching cars. So we moved on to lap 3 now. And as we cut through now, there we go. Safety car is deployed. So let's watch this through and see really, because I haven't even seen it yet, really, if they changed it drastically, because obviously the game has changed quite a lot since we tested it. But pretty much the same, you know, delta time, obviously. You have to catch a safety car. Obviously, in the last game, it was, there was a few little points, if I'm being completely harsh and honest, where the AI were a little bit weird on the delta time. There were certain corners they would kind of just stomp on the brakes. I'm thinking like Australia after Sector 1 ends. The right-hander, they would just brake, and you would just kind of go, oh, wow, okay, I've been brake checked, basically. Kind of like Hamilton-Vettel style. So, for right now, it doesn't look like there's any kind of funny business with the AI, thankfully. So, as we move through the safety car period, just interesting to note, actually, Greco's brought up the heads-up display, and on the right-hand side, you can see MGUK is on 1, we've got 1, the internal combustion engine's on 2, MGUH on 1, TC, I can't really remember what that would stand for, 2% though, Gearbox 0%, so interesting, already 2%, you've only done four laps around Spa, so bit of maybe wear scaling. I would like to think if you did 50% races compared to 100, the wear would be a little bit different. I'm going to skip ahead because I'm curious to see what the safety car restart's going to be like, because that was something that I felt needed improving a little bit on the previous game, F1 2016, because when you got to this stage, prepare to resume to racing, no overtaking, it was sometimes a little bit funny business in terms of the AI. Sometimes there'll be a bit too much of a gap between certain AI cars. But looking ahead to this entire train, looks like they're pretty much all nose to tail. No major gaps that I can see in the very blurry rain gameplay. So it looks pretty good. Soft Van Dorn out of the race. Pretty realistic. I mean, it's got the Honda engine, so probably I'm going to guess it's an engine blow-up for him. So we've only got 18 runners left in this Grand Prix. But on the restart, again, very cautious. Oh, okay, is that Hulkenberg going wide? Nice to see the AI making a mistake there. Hulkenberg off on the left-hand side. Kvyat's been caught up in it. He's still side by side with us. Kvyat's actually re-overtaken us there, so I think we had yellow flags, actually. But good to see Hulkenberg making a mistake in turn 1. Went wide for some reason into the restart. Maybe tried to make an overtake on the restart. But I was going to say, once again, on the restart, again, Greco going very nice and easy. So alluding to the fact it's going to be, you know, you have to be very, very cautious in the full wet conditions at low speed. You know, I felt sometimes in F1 2016 you could get away with a bit kind of more aggressive style of driving in the low speed corners, especially if you kind of just use the gears to your advantage. You could kind of swing from gear to gear and kind of almost slide through and make it work. But it seems at the moment Greco's taking it very nice and easy, really making sure he feeds the throttle in, getting the grip down. You can see, again, struggling in the right-hander in third gear here. You can hear the kind of tyres screeching. So definitely a bit of a challenge in low speed, and he's unable to actually catch Danny Kvyat there. Kvyat's actually getting away from him. And remember, Ultimate AI and David Greco is the handling guy. So in theory, you know, obviously David can make his excuses on Twitter. Apparently he recorded it on a very small monitor, apparently, according to him. So that's why he made a mistake in the Suzuka video. But, you know, he should in theory be pretty damn good against the AI. So even, you know, losing some time to Kvyat, even the best is going to lose some composure, and the AI will, you know, punish you for it and get away. It's good to see, good to see. Especially in the wet, because in F1 2016... especially, maybe not full wets, but intermediates. For me personally, I don't know how any of you guys felt, but definitely in the McLaren career mode I did at the start of the game, intermediate conditions were so OP for the player. Like, it was always so easy to catch up to AI cars in traction zones on intermediates on F1 2016. In the full wets to some extent as well, but it was more in intermediate. So actually, we've got some intermediate periods later on in this video if we kind of move it on. So I'll be interested to see how the traction is compared to the AI then. Definitely was an issue in F1 2016 where that was where you could kind of gain a lot of time. So as we filter through here, we're on lap 7 now. We're being chased down by Romain Grosjean into the bus stop. Big little squirm there, under braking. Very nice and easy. And then if we move it on to turn 1, a little bit of an interesting thing here. I don't actually know what goes on here, but as David goes up into rich mix, look over here on the right-hand side, and it's going to be a rear wing orange. Little bit weird, not going to lie. I don't know if that's going to affect his downforce a little bit. I mean, certainly he's lifting off anyway because it's full wet rouge, but I don't know if that's going to affect his downforce. If it does, that'll be brilliant. I'm trying to scroll through to find where this crash was. Did he have an accident somewhere? He goes off circuit a little bit there. Greco, I'm finding all your mistakes, mate. Apologies for that, but I'm trying to find where he's, where did he go off? Oh, wait, a little bit of tank slapper there. Big tank slapper here. Where on earth did he damage his rear wing? Did Grosjean hit it at one point? I'm too sure. No, this is the same exact lap. Okay, I'm not too sure where he hurt his rear wing. Maybe in the safety car period, and we just don't know about it. But he's definitely struggling now with this rear wing damage. Maybe that's it. Obviously, it's going towards intermediate as well, so that may be a bit of a situation of why he's going so kind of opposite lock so many times. But I think it also could be the rear wing also playing into it. But it definitely is getting a little bit lighter now. You can see the sun's coming out. And so now on lap 11, Greco is on in P8. He's still on full wets. Ricardo on the top left. He's on intermediate already. So that was another thing that Lee Mathers talked about in interviews. If you haven't seen it, I'll just kind of say it and talk through. Basically, Lee's discussed in some interviews with some press here and there, basically about the weather system. And obviously last year, a lot of us pretty much got to the point where, especially all the people making videos, but also I'm assuming most of you guys who play the game regularly, we all got to the point where you could kind of second guess the weather almost sometimes, in terms of we always knew, okay, if DRS is disabled, it's time to come in for the intermediate. If it's enabled, time to come in for the dries. You know, you always sort of knew when you had a little bit of kind of, you saw that kind of sheen on track, a little bit of spray, it was probably time to maybe start thinking about coming onto the inter tyres. And generally you could second guess it most of the time. Like, most of the time you could guess, especially off the team radio. Sometimes Jeff would say rain in 15 minutes. You could sometimes maybe second guess that. Okay, it's probably going to be 10, maybe it's going to be 20. This year they've tried to mix it up so much now to the point where Lee Mather, the game director, has said he's very confident that we won't be able to guess it, that no one will be able to predict it, that there'll be at no point, maybe right at the end of the game, if someone's mastered it, they'll be able to crack the code. But he's very confident that no one will. Remains to be seen. We'll see. But definitely here at the moment, a good sign that Greco is still on wets for a whole lap. So it meant that against the AI, he thought differently. So it was hard for him to maybe judge when to come in for those intermediate tyres. You can see, though, he's made the move around the outside of Grosjean to re-overtake him. Grosjean was out a little bit earlier, so he filtered through to lap 15. 7 laps to go. We're catching up to Kvyat, and Sainz is just ahead. So looks like whatever problems Sainz is having, he's holding up Kvyat a little bit. So let's go Upper Rouge. Little lift off here. Tiny little lift off again. There we go, full throttle. We go up with the rich mix, getting the slipstream. You can see the slipstream this year. That's one thing I didn't actually mention in the Renault video. The slipstream is so much more kind of actual to real life. You know, it's not like this circuit, especially on F1 2016, was ridiculous for slipstream. Down that Kemmel straight, down the back straight. It was OP. You almost didn't need DRS. Now you can see that was good. No DRS, but he's able to tuck in. He got the double toe off Sainz. Late braking was able to get them both. But it wasn't literally like he flew past them. He was just getting past Kvyat under the braking zone. That's what you want to see, basically, from the slipstream. Especially for 2017, with the more turbulent, dirty air. That's a lot more to real life. Obviously, 2016 was definitely nothing like real life was. That was just crazy. And definitely did kind of I would say ruined a little. I mean, it was kind of good for offline racing against AI, but I would assume obviously online it kind of ruined it a bit, because obviously online to online you don't have that issue of AI cars unable to overtake each other sometimes because they don't have enough slipstream. Online guys, obviously you're going to go for it. So for online, that's going to be a good thing. The slipstream's not so OP now down the straight, so it won't be an overtake fest pretty much with like 4 switchbacks every single lap in a league race per se. Now we move on to lap 18. It is getting drier and drier by the minute here. Difficult to tell a little bit. There is definitely a little bit of a dry line in some of these corners. On the straights, you can't really see it too much. Into the braking zone a little bit more. You can see as the sun comes out, parts the clouds, we can see a little bit of sheen on the car. Is Greco going to come in? He's going to save it. He's going to save it till lap 19 now. So the next lap, and you can see Perez right up his chuff. So pretty realistic there, actually. Ocon and Perez running P7 and P8 right now at the moment. Obviously, Greco driving his Ocon, but Perez's AI car right there. Perez continues on Intes, but pretty realistic position there for the 2 Force Indias. But speed limit is met. They've changed that, and they made it look a lot slicker, in my opinion. But let's once again, just like we did with the Renault video, let's take a look at the pit stop here. And once again, you can see the clutch system I was talking about in the Renault car. So you hold the clutch just like you would for 5 red lights, release it, and he's got a 2.9, and you can slow it down if you're not releasing it fast enough, basically. And now on towards the last lap of the Grand Prix. We're just going to watch this entire thing through because it's going to be the driest it's ever going to be in this race. So let's see what the Force India with David Greco is going to have for us in terms of how planted this car looks. Definitely Podium was one of those corners where, again, I said it at Suzuka, Sector 1 was, you know, I said it in there, it was orgasmic. Pretty much same thing here with Spa. Podium is very, very nice. If you're in the higher car and you can take it flat out, very nice, very, very nice. But Through Rouge, full commitment. Sector 1, let's see, obviously green, he's gone about 0.2 faster. Chuck it in 4th gear, you can see just revving it out up into 5th mid corner. Okay, still swerved a little bit there in the brake zone there. A little bit of sun peeking through the trees, actually nice to see. A few little flashes of light as the sun peeks through. But now here we go. Podium, is he going to take it flat in 7th? No, a little lift off there, but then flat on the exit. Obviously it's a little bit damp, so fair enough. But in the Ferrari car, which I did a lot of driving in the Ferrari car in testing in March or Feb or whatever it was, definitely very, very nice and flat out. You know, just rev out 7th gear, very nice. Lewis Hamilton wins the Grand Prix, fast lap with Valtteri Bottas. But that is going to see us out here for the Belgium Grand Prix. Once again, very nice gameplay there from David Greco and Codemasters. So thanks to David for recording, and props to Codemasters once again for uploading on their YouTube channel. I really do think that was a nice touch, and they're uploading it to their channel. As I said, you know, it's always nice to have gameplay sent, but good to see Codemasters embracing it. And then we get the usual post-race scene with Hamilton coming out. That's a funky helmet. That's is that his latest helmet? He's got a bit of, yeah, I guess so. It's kind of yellow and white. Yeah, it's got that. Fernando Alonso, he came in 16th place, so pretty poor race there for Fernando there, so he's going to be pretty upset. But I love the look of the cutscenes this year's game, especially this, the new podium sequence. Didn't really talk about it in the Renault video because obviously I was, you know, I just kind of let you guys watch it in the Renault video. But obviously by now you probably would have seen this video unedited on Codemasters' channel. I like the new scenes. They look a little bit, like a lot more natural. The facial expressions, the animation looks a bit more natural to me. The faces definitely have made a big, big step up, for sure. Especially for the drivers. The drivers are the big area, obviously, where it kind of matters a little bit more. And definitely the whole graphic fidelity, I don't know what it is. I think it may be like the bloom they've used and a bit of the saturation and the kind of exposure they've used on the cutscenes, but they just look that little bit better, a little bit more premium in my opinion. So yeah, good stuff there. So that's been this kind of gameplay. I don't know, you could say analysis. I don't know. I know a lot of you were tweeting me yesterday on Friday asking if I was going to do a video on this. I had a few issues with my PC blowing up on Friday. You would have seen it on Twitter, so I didn't have time then. But I thought I'd get this video out there today. A little bit of a casual, just talk through the gameplay. Obviously, I would have assumed that a lot of you guys would have already seen the gameplay unedited on Codemasters' channel, so that's why I thought I'd just have a nice casual chat with you guys about the gameplay. But so far, so good. I'm liking what I'm seeing, and hopefully there will be more to come in the next week or so. Obviously, we're only, you know, getting towards now less than 2 weeks away from the game being out, so the hype is slowly starting to build. I'm very much looking forward to getting my hands on it and having a good roll race with the AI cars. But guys, if you have enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below about anything I've discussed or the gameplay itself. Let me know what you're thinking so far from the Renault and the Force India gameplay. And specifically for this video, are you liking the look of the wet weather gameplay? Let me know in the comments below. If you're into it, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content and other motorsport content. I've been aarava. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you guys next time.